Well, welcome back, y'all strangers. We had a great show this morning for Summer Wells, and we have a great show this afternoon. I want everyone to be respectful, ask your questions, don't accuse, and just let our guests talk. Let's give a big Crime Lines and Lies welcome to someone that we have talked about on this show a lot, and that is Stacey Wondra. Hey, Stacey.
Hello.
I am so glad you decided to join the show and, tell your part of what you know about Michael Vaughn.
Okay. Me too. Do you want to start with questions or, what do I do?
Well, let's just start with, let's just go through our conversation this morning. Let's talk July 27th, 2021, the day that Michael was abducted.
Okay. So it was very weird. Sarah, Brandon, and I had initially gone and let's backtrack. So earlier that day, I had a call for a taxi ride. Wanted to go from Ontario to Boise. Sarah wasn't available, but I was, so I was like, okay, I'll just go do the taxi ride. At that same time, I took the taxi ride and I decided to hang out in Boise for a little bit. I think I'd gone and visited a buddy of mine in Boise. I don't remember exactly the specifics. I know that I was
Can you tell us
gone for a few hours.
Who the buddy was?
Yeah. So it was actually an old employer that I did work for, but he also became a friend. His name was the company was Labor Dave's, and then his name was David Fears. But I had gone to visit him, I think, to talk to him about some extra work at the time. You're welcome, Chrissy. So I hadn't been in Boise. Like I said, it was only for a few hours, but I literally had just stopped to see Dave, and I think it was discussing some extra work that he had wanted me to do for him. He had me do a lot of labor gigs. A lot of it was moving gigs or sitting on a riding lawnmower and mowing a lot of the LDS churches. He had a contract with them. But there was nothing going on in the neighborhood when I had left. When I got back to the neighborhood from Boise, it was still mellow. It was still calm. There was nothing unusual going on. And I got back home, and it was just like a normal, average home. There was Brandon was there, I was there, and Sarah was there.
What time?
I don't know. I'd say probably close to 3:30 or 4, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like I said, this is years ago. You know what I mean? I don't remember verbatim everything, so I'm sorry if I'm not able to remember specifics, but I try. Um, but I got home and everything was just as it should be. You know, as a normal household should be. You know, peaceful, quiet. You know, not nothing exciting. You know, and then Brandon had uh approached Sarah and I because he had been asking for a little while, but he wanted Sarah and I to help him go get his vehicle from Cuna, which was parked at his mom's house. So um, about when it started getting dark, probably 5:30, 5:45, somewhere around the end of the 5 o'clock hour, we all got ready and got into the Sierra, the red burgundy truck, and
Whose
I made
truck
sure that
is that? Whose truck is that, by the way? Because I
that
don't know.
no, that burgundy truck is ours. It was ours. It got repossessed because we were late on the payment on it. Um, so they repossessed it. Um, but that's the only vehicle that we've ever had a repo on. Um, you know, the rest of the vehicles that we've owned or have had, you know, have all been, paid up on time or whatnot. Um, so, um, so the burgundy truck is what we took um, to go pick up Brandon's car, and I made sure that I put a tow strap in the back of the truck, um, and other yeah, I don't know, like just safety stuff, for the road because we were not using a tow dolly or anything. We're literally just towing it with a strap. um, so you got to take extra precautions when you do that type of stuff, especially towing a vehicle, and not being really secured, other than the person steering the car behind you. So uh, w- we had gone to his house, picked up his car. Sarah was driving the truck. I was in the passenger seat, and Brandon was in the back seat. um, I preferred Sarah to drive most places just because I don't know. I was a bigger guy, and it was uncomfortable for me to sit behind a wheel all the time, and I had literally driven I drove earlier that day, and it was hurting me. So, uh, um, but
Now, what time are we talking about? Don't get confused by the chat, because I mean we'll get to questions in a second.
I
Can,
can't even see the chat.
oh, you can't?
No,
Oh,
oh, maybe I have to press chat. No.
no, it's okay, hon. Don't even worry about it. A lot of people are just saying you look great. You've lost a lot of weight.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank
They're not
you.
saying that you looked bad before. Um,
Oh yeah.
I mean, one question, a lot of people have is let's start from the beginning of the day, July 27th,
hmm
not when you got the taxi call.
Beginning of the day was as the usual. Woke up I mean, obviously sleeping. Woke up, had some coffee. Um, kind of laid around the house, with Sarah and Brandon, and um, that was literally the highlight of the morning. I mean, we watched some TV, I think, or a movie, or I don't remember exactly, but um, um, there was nothing um, unusual that day at all. Um, I mean, out of the ordinary. We just did the same routine. that we always did, which was get up, have your coffee, uh, get dressed, get showered for the day. Like I said, I think we may have watched a movie or or one or it was a movie or TV show. I don't remember, but I know that the TV shows that Sarah and I really were into were The Good Doctor and I really was obsessed with Chicago PD. Um, so just shows like that uh, that we would watch. So I don't remember exactly if it was a movie or a TV show, but um, so that was literally like throughout the day, and then I got the taxi call probably. I think it was like around 11, and person wanted to go from Ontario to Boise, so I went and picked him up. Probably I left the house about 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon, uh, and took the Lexus that we had to go pick the client up and transported him to Boise. And I hung out in Boise, I think, for a few hours, and then came home. Neighborhood seemed subtle and quiet. There's not a lot going on. Nothing seemed unusual at our house. Nothing was off. Um, and then Brandon asked us if we would help him get his vehicle, so we agreed we would help him because he'd been bugging us for a while. So we took the truck and went and picked him up, or picked his car up with him with us in Cuna, and he drove. He steered his car behind, and Sarah and I were in the truck, and we towed his vehicle all the way back to Fruitland. When we got back, we noticed that there was an exceptional amount of police officers and um, people just walking around. And I told Sarah to pull over. I was like, let's find out what's going on. And um, we rolled the window down, and um, we asked them, what's going on, what's happening, and they were like, well, a little boy was abducted, and we're like, what? It made no sense because I mean everything was at peace.
Who did
You
you
know?
ask?
I don't remember. It was a police officer that we had talked to that was walking up the road from the main strip, 8th Street, which is you took 8th Street. 8th Street led you into this our subdivision. We lived in a whole different subdivision than Michael Vaughn. Michael Vaughn lived on the opposite side. He lived on 9th Street. We lived off of um, I think it was called Pintail Avenue or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the street that led into our subdivision was. It's been so long, but um, we stopped and asked, um, what was going on, and they told us, and we're like, that's really weird. And I was in the process of trying to get Brandon's car dismantled from or detached from my truck. Um, and Brandon and Sarah had gone and looked for Michael while I was doing that. I offered to go help, and they're like, "No, we'll just go out and do it." And I was like, "Okay." So they took off on foot. Carson's truck, mind you, I know that was a question a lot of you guys had. Carson's truck was never used that night. Carson has a truck, yes, with a light bar on it, but it was never. Carson would never let his truck out. I tried asking him to borrow his truck a couple times in the past, um, just to do like when I don't know, it was stupid. I don't remember exactly, but there was times where I'd asked if I could borrow his truck. I think when like one of our vehicles were down or something like that. Um, but he wouldn't even let that happen. So I know for a fact that he would not let his truck go out just with anybody. Um, he wouldn't even let it go happen with me. He doesn't even let his best friend take his truck. So They went out and looked for him and came back and said they found nothing. So
Now,
I
hang
was
on.
kind of
Who went out with him and said they found nothing?
Sarah and Brandon went out together
Were
and
they
looked,
were
and
they
then
walking?
they were on foot, correct? From what I understood, yes. I wasn't a witness to them leaving in a vehicle, um, because I had the driveway blocked off with the truck in Brandon's car, so they couldn't really leave the driveway. The truck was taking up the lengthwise of the full size of the driveway because I had the truck and then I also had Brandon's car behind. So I was working on getting that all undone. So they didn't have access to taking a vehicle to go get it, to go look for him. So they went out on foot.
Okay, well, here's a map of the red dot is where you used to live, and
Yep.
where it says the other red dot where it says Vaughn family home.
Yep. Yeah. So that's on. They live off of Ninth Street. I live off. That's so where that road is. That's Ninth Street, and then you literally can go on 8th. So you have to, in order to get to Ninth Street, you can get there two ways. You have to come in from the subdivision. So that road right there, that curves, you see the right where between family and home, that road right there. So that is not I-95. So you pull into the subdivision, there's a road right there, right directly below the letter U in the bond. That road right there, that's uh that's 8th Street, and then you go the next road down, that's Ninth Street. If you go lower, continue going below the first stop or the first road, that's Ninth Street. So you can get there two different ways. You can go pull into the right off the road, main strip, you'll run into a stop sign. You either take a left at the stop sign and then take a right on Ninth Street, or you can go down 8th Street. There's another entrance, another uh you'll see like at the end of all the houses, kind of like on the road that continues into the map, you'll see that there is that's 8th Street. So you can take a left on 8th Street, off of 8th Street to the I can't I wish I had a way to really show you guys, but we never what I'm trying to say is I personally have never been on Ninth Street. I know how to get there because I've driven by it, but I have personally never been on Ninth Street, which is where the Vaughn family lived. Nor do I even know who Michael Vaughn is. I had no idea that there was a little boy even named Michael Vaughn, until the night in question he went missing. Um, I wish I could see the chats. Is there any way I could see chats?
Well, I'm going to start putting questions up here in a second. I mean, everyone
Okay,
is just saying, justice for Michael Vaughn, that,
absolutely.
you look great, stuff like that. If anyone's in here attacking our guest, you're going to be timed out. He's here to tell his story. So we have to be respectful, okay? We have to be. There's no point. I spoke to him this morning. He was very forthcoming with me. He told me a lot of things I had never heard before. All right. Let's start with one question. And if you can answer it, great. If you can't, then no.
Ask.
Okay. Sarah wanted Brandon to give her a baby.
Correct.
So you knew about that.
Yep.
Can you explain how that came down?
So Sarah approached me in the bedroom where we sleep, where our place of, our master bedroom where we sleep. And Sarah had asked me, she goes, I know that you aren't able to have kids because you're infertile, but Brandon's here, and I'm wondering if we can maybe try with him. And at that point, I was like, I wasn't comfortable with it 100%, but I was like, you want a kid so bad, then fine. I was like, okay, let's, do what you got to do. She goes, it's only going to be, for a couple days, just, but we have to do it a few times a day. And I'm like, okay. Well, that few times a day, for a couple days turned into
Her,
being a
her
week.
and Brandon had to do it a few times a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. She always told me that she, um, you have to do it more than one time a day to be able to become pregnant, which didn't make sense with me. And I was like, I know plenty of people that have one night stands and then getting pregnant. So I don't even know how uh, how that even played a part. But uh, I just went along with it, and I was like, okay, so I mean, yeah, you do what you need to do. Well, then one week, couple days turned into a week. And at the end of the week, I asked her, I was like, so what are we doing? Like, why are you still, oh, well, I haven't, I just want to make sure it's going to happen. And then I told her, I was like, look, like, it's got to stop. I said, I'm tired of listening to you guys fuck all the time. I just wasn't kosher with it anymore, and I expressed that to her, I was like, look, I understood a couple days, that was, you know, that's what you wanted, that's fine. But to repeatedly listen to another dude fucking my wife is a whole nother ballgame. And so
Okay.
she ended up stopping doing.
Oh, hang on. We lost Stacy. Let me send him a link again.
Are you there?
Yeah, right here.
Sorry guys, I don't know what happened.
So Sarah was not loyal to you,
No,
obviously.
not in the slightest at all.
Okay.
There was no, Sarah was the most deceitful, I don't know how else to put it, lying bitch that I've ever been with in my life. She destroyed me as a person. She then continuously fucked Brandon even after I got arrested. And she got released on that pretrial release before she was rearrested in November. I mean, because Sarah had tried to contact me through the phone because her fucking mom gave her my number. Tried to contact me and then pretty much tried to apologize for throwing me out of the bus. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't mean to. I didn't have that intention. And um, I was like, yeah, but you fucking did. There's not, there's no hesitation. Like, you did what you did. You threw me and you got me arrested for having my gun. Yeah, I mean, she snitched on me for selling my gun. That's what it was. That's why I went to fucking jail. She snitched on me for it, and and then I so and some of y'all are confused about the time frames that she got arrested when I got arrested. So she was arrested April 13th of 2022, which was the day of our anniversary, because she held our tenant Tanner Butler, who was also staying with us at the time, at gunpoint. Threatened him and told him that he had to fucking leave and all this other shit. And if he wasn't going to leave, she was going to kill him. So uh, Sarah turned it into like a dispute. The cops got called. Um, Sarah ended up getting arrested that night. I didn't. I was still home. But they
Now hold
uh,
on. So you were still home on what date?
no, this wasn't the day of his disappearance. This is the day of our anniversary, April 13th of 2022. This is when Sarah got arrested for the failure to report, or for she got charged with assault and battery, attempted concealment of, or attempted destruction of evidence, and um, possession of a controlled substance. She had hydrocodones in her purse that were in a bag. Um, she put them in a bag because the bottle had gotten moisture inside of it and the pills were getting wet. So she took them out and put them in a napkin, put them in a Ziploc baggie to dry them out. um, which it was beyond my knowledge. I don't even know why she would do that. And it was they hit her with like a class C narcotic or something like that. But because it was a prescription, but she didn't have them in the bottle they were supposed to be. So she got charged with like three charges that night. She went to jail at Payette County. Um, sorry, I gotta turn the heater on. It's cold. And then I did not get arrested until a month or about a month later. So there was less than a month. It was probably 16 days later. They came and hit me. I got pulled over because I got a phone call that morning. I didn't get pulled over. Sorry. I got a phone call that morning from Fruitland Police Department saying, "Hey, you can, your phones are able to be picked up," because they had confiscated all of our phones. So they were like, "Your phones are good to be picked up. You can come and get them. When can you pick them up?" I was like, "Well, I'm in town all day. I'll pick them up at 9 o'clock tonight," which was May 6th of 2022, 2020, April, May, yeah, 2022. Um, so I went down to the police station in Fruitland, uh, called dispatch because it was 9 o'clock at night. Called dispatch, told them that I was there to pick up my phones. Law enforcement met me outside, and then I had my dog with me at the time, Oakley, the one that you guys have pictures of. Um, uh, I then got out of, or was told to get out of the car and asked to show my ID for verification. It was like a setup, and they arrested me saying for felon in possession of a firearm.
Oh,
So Sarah had narked on me for having a gun before she got arrested, and then they ran my name in the system, found out that I was a previous felon, and then they're like, you weren't supposed to have a gun. Well, I didn't even have the gun in the presence of the cops. Sarah told them that I went and sold the gun to a gunsmith in New Plymouth, which I did because we needed the money. So I sold the gun to the gunsmith for $475, and came back home. That was April 12th that I sold it, 2022. Um, so the next day, Sarah gets arrested, tells on me for selling the gun to the gunsmith. Um, the same day, she assaulted Tanner, and she gets arrested. I get arrested on May 6th, which was a Friday, um, at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. Um, and that's when my journey began in jail.
well, some people say that Tanner is the one that snitched on you, not Sarah.
No, Sarah snitched on me. Tanner confirmed it. So Tanner was like her, what do you word it? Like her backup uh, information person, I guess. I don't know what the word is. But he confirmed everything that Sarah said. And so, yeah, so it was Sarah that started the snitching. They're throwing me under the bus, and then Tanner, they asked Tanner about it, and Tanner confirmed it.
Well, this is going to be a hard question, and if you can't answer it, I understand.
Okay.
Was Tanner and Sarah also together?
No. Not that I know of. There was never any sexual discussion. Of course, Sarah wasn't always up in front and honest with me about anything, but I don't see Sarah. I didn't see Sarah as that. Uh, as Tanner being of interest to her. He just wasn't like, I don't know, like as a guy. I'm not trying to sound weird. I'm not gay. Uh, he just, I know Sarah's preference, and doesn't sound like he would fit that criteria. Then again, before Sarah got married to me, all she dated was black people, so I have really no room to really say much.
Now, what about the rumors about threesomes between you, Brandon, and her?
Never had a threesome a day in my life.
Okay.
It was called the love triangle, if that's what you're referring to. But that was not a threesome triangle. I've never had a threesome a day in my life. That's not. I'm not even okay with doing something like that. I have more. I have more. I don't know what the word is. Self. Uh, Help me out. What's the word? Like I have more respect for myself than that.
Yeah, self-respect.
Yeah. I'm not that person. I find it very rude and disrespectful and degrading to a woman to even ask a question like that.
Well, I apologize for bringing that up. We do
No,
have a
no, I mean, don't be like you. Here to answer questions and answer the questions that people have.
All right. Well, on July 27th, 2021,
Hmm.
did you, Brandon, or Sarah drive on 9th Street?
No, I know personally I didn't. I cannot speak for Brandon or Sarah. So I don't know. I can't speak for them. Like I said, I will not lie about somebody. Like I told you this morning, I will not lie or speak on somebody's behalf if I don't know the truth to it.
Did you ever stop on 8th in Arizona that night?
Correct. On the way out of the subdivision, we did. We were in the truck. The truck, I always had to put power steering in the truck because the power steering pump was going out. It had a the the it's called the high pressure gasket ring that connects the power steering hose to the core. Uh, was bad. I didn't fix that until after, uh, like a like a month later. I ended up getting it fixed, but uh, it was called a high pressure seal. There we go, high pressure seal for the power steering. And so the power steering had a huge was spraying all over. Every probably I don't know, probably every 4, 5, 6 hours, we had to stop and refill power steering fluid because there was a huge whining noise going on and it was causing from the power steering.
Okay,
We
well,
did stop on Arizona.
so you did stop on 8th in Arizona.
Where
What vehicle were you in?
the truck.
Carson's truck or
No, the burgundy truck. Well, my
oh,
truck, the GMC
I'm sorry.
Sierra. It's
Okay, I'm
okay.
sorry. No, okay. You're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. I mean, you're being transparent. You're clearing everything up.
That's all I'm here to do. Want people to know, like I'm not what it seems to be. That's why I'm doing this because I want people to be like, okay, like he's really being serious. you know?
Oh, we know. Trust me, we know you're serious. Okay, now I want to ask you something. Again, if there's something that you don't feel comfortable answering, then don't.
Okay.
Um, I know several people have talked to Adrian, and he said that he was in a sexual relationship with Sarah.
Uh, I didn't find out until Adrian and like there's like sexual relation. I was approached by the detective. I can't remember her name, but she was the female detective with the long black hair. She had informed me that uh, you're welcome, Pat. She had informed me that Sarah and Adrian had been having a sexual relationship, and that was approached to me when I was in jail. So I didn't know anything about that. I thought it was 100% just a friendship. I didn't. Then again, like I said, Sarah has been very, very dishonest and deceitful and very ignorant. It
That must have felt horrible when, you found out the truth about people you trusted.
was devastating. It was not. It wasn't fair. Here I am trying to be loyal and faithful to Sarah. The best way I can. We've had our arguments or disagreements or our troubles. I mean, who doesn't in a marriage? I mean, you're bound. I mean, if you don't have troubles or arguments in a marriage, then there's something wrong. You know, I don't. Nobody's. You're no not one perfect. There's not one perfect marriage. Without that has absolutely nothing but just solitude and solidity and you know, um, it's just made 100% of happiness. You're gonna have your downfalls. It's just a part of life. And Sarah and I had a lot of those, but never once. I mean, there was never a time that I felt the need to lie to her or um, hide shit from her. I was open about everything with her.
Or did you want to have a child, or was it more Sarah?
It was Sarah. I was in agreement because of her wanting a child. Um, but I even told Sarah, I was like, look, we're not in a financial situation to have a kid right now. I said, and she's like, I've only got a certain time frame left before I can't have kids anymore. I said, I get that. And she basically pretty much coerced me and it was like, yeah, we're gonna have a kid. And I was like, fine. Like, Um, so that's I mean, that's what I have on that. Uh I don't really know. I just know Sarah was very deceitful, very dishonest, very disloyal, um, untrusting, violent. Um, Sarah was very aggressive towards me, like I was telling you this morning, Brooks. Sarah was very aggressive and abusive towards me. um, she held me down on the couch when I was laying down on my stomach. She held me down on the couch with a butcher knife to my throat. Also, a time where she held me at loaded held me at gunpoint with a loaded 12 gauge shotgun with a slug in the chamber. You know, there's not. She was not a kosher person. She was a fake. And I told my mom so many times. I was like, Mom, like I'm not comfortable being married to her anymore. And there was times where she was like, what do you need? I said, I just need out. So I mean, and then I would leave, and then something about Sarah would bring me back. It's out of stupidity. It was awful. Um, like it's just very. It's very hard being in that marriage. But thankfully, uh, I'm not together with her. She tries to call me every now and then from prison. She's currently located in Boise, um, at the South Women's Correctional Facility. I don't remember what the name of it, but um, she's in there because of the things with Tanner. For 3 years, she'll be out. Her parole eligibility date is February 20th of 2026. Um, but that doesn't mean she's going to get out. Then that's just when she will see the parole board.
Now, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do you have any opinion why Sarah said you were involved?
Not at all. I know for a fact I wasn't even home. At the time frame that this little boy went missing, or I wasn't home throughout the day. And then there was nothing odd going on at our house even when I got home that night. So it makes no sense at all. Not one piece of it. I know for a fact it wasn't me. So I don't know where she's getting uh her little um ridiculous pieces of information, but they've got the wrong person. I wasn't even home. And like I also told you this morning, Brooks, and I'll let everybody know on here, 3 people on May 19th of 2022 got polygraph tests on behalf of Michael Vaughn. That was Sarah, Brandon, and me. Out of the 3 people that got tested, I was the only one to pass the polygraph test. Sarah and Brandon had failed it. So I just want to put that out there for everybody, just so you guys have an idea. Unfortunately, in the eyes of Idaho, I don't know everybody else, but in the eyes of Idaho law, a polygraph is not admissible in court unless it is deemed that you failed it. So, um, I don't know. I'm appalled. I'm very appalled. Like I told you this morning as well. I want justice for this little boy. I want this little boy to come back home to his mother and father. It tears me up inside. I hurt badly because I want this little boy to be with his family. I would kill somebody if that happened to my kid. So
How
I
old,
can only
how old is
imagine what
your,
they're going through.
how old is your baby?
I don't have a baby.
Oh, you said my kid. Okay.
No, I was saying like in general, like if that was me in that situation and somebody took my kid, I would kill somebody.
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Did it what?
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Yeah, and I told him I don't have any idea. They asked me about our backyard, and I said that's not even possible. There's no trench marks. There's no dig marks. There's absolutely no. There's nothing. There's not even. There's nothing at all in our backyard. Even by the shed that people are questioning about, that shed was there on our property since we moved there. That house belonged to Sarah's mom and dad, and we were there since June of 2020.
20 of 20. Okay. And
Correct.
when did Adrian move in, approximately?
It's like a year later. I want to say like June, early July.
And how did you
Um,
guys come across him? Because he has an issue with, human trafficking.
I told you that this morning. So Sarah had called me for a. I was at home at the time. I don't know. This was in June or early July. called me and said that, hey, I have a question for you. We need to talk. I have a taxi customer who called me asking if we would just help him out with a ride. He doesn't have any money at the time. Um, but I'm really compelled to help him. He also doesn't have a place to live. He's staying behind a dumpster in Caldwell. Do you feel like we're in a position to help him out? My response to Sarah was this. I said, I do not feel comfortable. I said, our situation. You know that, yes, we do have a heart to help people. We love to help people. But we're not in a financial situation nor a physical ability to take on somebody else's, you know, problems. She then approached me and was like, well, I really feel like this is God's calling, again, the whole God thing. Uh, God wants me to help him. God's telling me we should help him. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. Do what you want to do. I had told her specifically I was not okay with it. But being the person that she is and being the person I am, you know, I suggested and told her that it wasn't okay. But she did it anyways, and as a result, he caused us problems.
Like what kind of problems
Uh,
besides?
I mean, apparently he was fucking her behind my back.
Mhm.
Like he would try to get us to scam people for, like I was telling you this morning, Brooks. Scam people, creating a false or a fake chat line, and then hustling people for their money and taking their money from them on through Cash App. Um, uh, I mean, just those kind of problems. Stuff that Sarah and I didn't really want a part of. Sarah agreed to help him with it. I didn't, but it also never went anywhere, to my knowledge. And if it did, I sure as hell wasn't aware of it. Is there any way I could see the chats that people are leaving, or is that just on your side?
Um, well, we're on StreamYard, so you probably can't, but I'm putting up questions and asking you questions as they
Got
come
you.
in.
Okay. I got you. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I might be
Um,
able to figure it out and change it. I mean, we have one question right here from Jesse. What brought law enforcement to your house for Michael Vaughn? Carson said cadaver dogs alerted at your front door.
no. So I don't have any way to really answer that. I don't know. I know that apparently, um, so the cadaver dogs hit. They didn't hit at the front door. The cadaver dogs, from what I'm being told and what I understand, the cadaver dogs had hit around the general premises of the neighborhood, like the property. Um, just because a cadaver dog, like my experience, with and knowledge with law enforcement, like just because a cadaver dog hits on a certain on how do I word it? Um, I don't have an answer for that. I guess I don't know. All I know is that I'm being told that the cadaver dogs hit around the property, but not on the property. If that makes sense. Um, like in the general concept of a neighborhood. Carson, I don't know why Carson would say anything such as the cadaver dogs alerting, because Carson wasn't even home that day. From what I remember, he was out doing his little painting gig that he does. Carson's a professional painter, so he wasn't even home the night of this disappearance or the day of this disappearance. Um,
Oh, was it day or night?
I don't know, I know Carson wasn't there at all that day. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
No,
just
it's
got
okay.
confused.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I know that Carson has a full time work job. But I also know, and I found this out through the detective as well, that Carson and his wife also are registered sex offenders. I
Oh.
didn't find that out until after started getting questioned by the detectives.
Well, did you have any conversations with Carson, let's say a few days before Michael disappeared?
About what?
Oh, anything.
I mean, Carson and I talked all the time, specifically mainly about mechanic stuff.
Okay.
Uh, or him and I like to go, shooting. We would go shoot gophers down at the off of Pearl Road. It's like going towards Parma. There's a giant uh, piece of property where people go ride their dirt bikes or people there. I mean, it's just filled with gophers. Or whistle pigs. So we'd go shoot gophers. So I don't know. I mean, 90% of the conversation with Carson was legitimately mechanic questions or mechanic conversations.
Well, and you guys were friends. He tried to basically disassociate himself from you and Sarah and the house, but Sarah said that Michael was buried in his backyard, and that's not the case.
It makes no fucking sense. Again, where I want law enforcement to sit there and show everybody. I want them to show pictures of the grass. I want them to show the evidence, the ground penetrating surveillance. I want them to show where they see that there was a hole dug. Because I know for a fact that if you're going to dig a hole on a property, on some even grass of any sort, anything, it could be anywhere, you're going to leave a dirt trail. It's common sense. You're not gonna just dig a hole and have absolutely no residue from it. No remaining dirt left on the ground.
Well, I
So
wonder who told them that, because Michael disappeared in July of 2021 and they started the dig in November of 2022. Obviously, say between rains and snow and grass growing back over, there wouldn't be.
I don't know. I have no idea. It makes me appalled.
Well, Sarah, I can't say Sarah said it. I can't say that because it's just rumors, around the internet. Did Sarah change her clothes that day after towing the car? Was there any missing clothes of Sarah's?
No. Sarah wore the same. Sarah literally wears one outfit a day. She changes from her pajamas. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we slept naked together, so there was no really pajamas. Um, but we had company. We had Brandon that was staying there. We also had Adrian. So she wasn't gonna walk out in the living room naked. Neither was I. So we put clothes on. But we didn't get dressed for the day. You know what I mean? We didn't get dressed till later on. So
Well, see, so Brandon said that, him and Sarah had breakfast that morning and then headed out and went to the
what?
mall,
What'd you say they did?
had breakfast.
No, we had breakfast at our house that morning, if I remember right.
Oh,
Sarah
yeah, I
made.
assumed it was your
Yeah,
house.
yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, no. Sarah literally wore one outfit that day. Uh, I don't. Yeah, she's not the type of person where she changes her clothes 100 times a day.
Unlike me, I can't make my mind up.
Sometimes have that issue too, and I'm a dude.
No, I do.
um,
Especially during certain types of weather, it'll be cold in the morning or
yeah.
cooler because I live in Oklahoma, and then I'll have shorts on in the afternoon, and then I go to pajamas in the evening. It's a hell of a load of laundry.
Mhm.
Now, if did you have a dog?
Yeah, I had my dog. Her name was Oakley. It's the one that you see pictures with on Facebook. The little brown and black dog.
Okay, so
That's
I
okay.
wasn't
My
quite
baby.
sure. I wasn't quite sure if that was your dog or you were
Mhm.
babysitting a dog because I
No,
heard that
that
you
was
guys have a dog business as well. That could be a rumor
a dog business. No,
because
never
there
had a
was some.
dog business a day in my life. No,
Okay. Did your dog ever dig anything up in the backyard?
no. She was a hound dog. Hound dogs dig, so she was always digging a hole in the backyard. It didn't matter where the spot was. I mean, anywhere in the backyard, she would tear it up. It's just how hound dogs are. They do that. I never trained her differently. I always thought that I was like, okay, well, you're doing what you got to do. But she never dug anything up. No, she was a digger, yes, but did she dig anything up? No. Mm.
All right. A lot of people have questions about the trip to Texas.
Ask him away. Let's get him done with.
Okay. Well, hang on. Let's start with this. Give me a second.
One,
Sarah said on October 7th that you were out of the hospital.
mm-hmm.
Was that on the way there or on the way back?
On the way there.
Okay. I assumed you all were on your way back. I apologize.
No, that was on the way there.
Okay, so you were in Melrose, New Mexico.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and she said that you checked yourself out. You had no discharge papers and that you signed against medical advice.
I don't remember exactly. Probably just because I think they were trying to I don't remember exactly what the reasoning was. I literally went in there to get checked to see what was going on because I was having a very hard time breathing. As you know, I was a very big guy, a lot bigger than what I am now, and so um, I think a lot of it had to do with the temperature change, the climate, the air. It was just than what I was used to. So that was why I'd gone to the hospital because I was having a very hard time breathing.
So explain the trip, why you went all the way down there.
Okay, so Sarah and I had been doing a little bit of so there's a gal in Boise. I think she still lives there. Her name is Amy Church. It was the gal that Sarah and I connected with. She had posted an ad initially on Craigslist years ago, back in 2021, I think, or I don't remember, but she had posted an ad on Craigslist saying that she's looking for somebody to deliver a puppy to Grants Pass, Oregon. Um,
Where's
so
that?
Grants Pass, Oregon.
How far is that from Fruitland?
I mean, it's clear on the other side of uh, like the other side of Portland. So probably 8 hours, 9 hours. If I had to guess, I haven't looked it up. I don't have a way to look it up on the map, but uh, right now because I'm on the video. But pretty sure it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive. um, so we had uh, agreed to do it because she was willing to pay us like $500 or $600. We also took the truck that night to Grants Pass, Oregon, because we also found a guy on Craigslist that needed his full behind camper towed to Walla Walla. Walla Walla was on the way to Grants Pass, Oregon. So Sarah, Brandon, and me, and this guy and the dog, and then this guy we picked up for the camper that had the camper, all drove to Grants Pass, or drove to Walla Walla, dropped him off in his camper, and then we continued the drive to Grants Pass, Oregon, dropped off the black lab puppy, and then headed back home. That was for that. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you all is, we did a lot of we try to do what we could to serve our community. Um, the trip, as far as the trip to Texas goes, so we initially gone to Texas because we were offered, it was like 12 or $1,400. She tried to give us a quote of $1,000. We were like, no, we're not going to do it for 1,000. Like, we need to account for this trip, the gas it's going to take, the food, the hotel stay, and then the trip back. So we counter offered and offered like 12 or $1,400, and she was like, okay, that's fine. So she gave us $900, I believe, up front, and was going to pay us the remainder once we picked up the dog, which she did. On the way to Texas, I don't remember. It was started with an L. It was a small city in Texas. We ended up encountering, it was on a 2-lane highway, and we encountered a detour sign. I know a lot of you have questions about the muddy road and why we took the muddy road. So to answer your guys' question is, we ended up taking the detour. Yep, there you go. Took the detour. The detour literally was off the main highway, or the main 2-lane highway. We took the detour because there's a fatality. Took the detour, and then like a quarter mile down the detour road, there was another detour sign that pointed to the right. We took that road, which was that road that that photo was just showed up on. We ended up there was like 2 vehicles in front of us, the trucks that ended up making it through all the way. So it wasn't just us that was on that road, but we tried to go through it thinking we'd make it, and we got stuck. We didn't know what to do. I mean, there was no way I was going to be able to push us out of there because, I mean, my size, and secondly, just how deep the car was stuck.
Now go ahead with, we'll get to that question next.
Okay. So um so I called the tow truck company. The first one I called, they were trying to quote us like $250 to bring a tow truck out to our location and pull us out. And I was like, well, that's not going to work because we need all the money we can get to get back. So to get to the rest of our destination, to go pick up the dog and then go back. So after uh, after making a couple more calls, I was able to get a hold of a guy who personally owned a tow truck company, but he was willing to come and help. I just explained to him, I was like, we're struggling, we're stuck, we're down here to rescue a dog or pick up a dog for a lady in Boise. They detoured us, they got us stuck, or they got us stuck in this road, muddy hole or whatever, muddy pit, and we don't really have a way to get out. And he's like, okay, just hang tight, I'll come and get you out of there. So out of the kindness, this guy drove over in his Toyota 4Runner, pulled up in front of us, connected a tow strap, and pulled us out. At that point, we then continued on with our trip. And we carried on to go get the dog. I think it was the next day that we ended up getting the dog, and then stayed at the hotel overnight. and then drove back.
Well, now Sarah made several TikToks from the hotels, but we couldn't hear a dog. Did the dog was the dog sleeping?
Yeah, the dog literally, she was older, so she slept a lot. Um, like there was nothing like that dog aside from Oakley, my dog. That dog was ridiculously crazy, like silent. There was like never even yelped, never whined. That dog was the best dog I've ever seen in my life, and that's just like me being brutally honest. I've never seen anything like it. The dog didn't whine, didn't like make a peep, doesn't even bark uh, at all. Even when she had to use the bathroom, I mean, she would, we knew she had to use the bathroom because she would stand up, but she never even whined to go outside or anything.
Speaking of Oakley, who has Oakley now?
Oakley was Sarah. When I went to jail, when Sarah got out on pretrial, Sarah gave Oakley to a guy named Victor, who was also a guy that we had taken to um, Portland, Oregon, at one point in time back in 2020, I believe. Uh, he had posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a ride to um, Portland to go start a fresh life. Um, so we responded to it. As you guys probably are aware, we did a lot of Craigslist gigs. So then you're probably going to know a lot about that's where most of these come from is Craigslist. Um, so we took Victor to Portland, and then he ended up we stayed in contact with him throughout the next couple of years, and then he came back to Idaho and did some taxi rides for us. Um, and then when I got arrested and Sarah got released on pretrial, um, sorry, Sarah gave Victor Oakley. Well, Victor, being irresponsible, gave or got drunk one night, and Victor was living out of his vehicle with Oakley, working at Walmart, working graveyard shift, and Victor had drank like 240s. I don't know what they were. I don't really care. Drank two beers that night, the 40-ounce beers. I think they're Steel Reserve or some shit, and then got pretty much drunk. Had let Oakley out to use the bathroom in the Walmart parking lot area, and then passed out drunk. Oakley was then picked up um, by a random couple, I guess, or people, and was brought to the local humane society as a stray. Victor inquired, I guess, because this is what Victor told me a week or two ago, that he inquired to get Oakley back, but they were going to charge $300, and they wanted a signed form saying that Oakley was given to him by Sarah or I. Oh my god! So that's where the situation with Oakley.
Okay, what did you think about Brandon's interview with JLR?
Oh, you're as far as that question goes.
Yeah, when he was in the hot tub.
Um, sorry, my PO texted me. Um, he's very off on his information. There's always two sides to every story. Unfortunately, in this story, there's multiple. Uh, you know, everybody has their own. Uh, story. I know for a fact that what I'm telling you is the absolute 100% truth. I don't. have a reason to bullshit anybody. I don't have a reason to lie to anybody. I'm on here specifically to clear my name with you guys because I know there's a lot of questions.
Well, and we're getting through them. I mean, one thing
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect when I talked to you because, Brandon kept saying, you have such a slow IQ and that, I mean, you're basically, you can't even form a sentence really.
He's retarded. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Don't be I'm trying to offend anybody.
Because, I mean, you have a great memory.
I do my best. I mean, yes, I struggle with mental diagnoses. I was born with them, but I've also been in group homes a lot of my life to better myself, to be a better part and functional member in society. So I've overcome a lot of those um, troubles. You know, so that's why I am the way I am today. You know, but as far as his videos, like there's something off with Brandon. A lot of things are off with him. He's not consistent with his information. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's not he's deceitful as well. You know, uh, in my book, he's a piece of shit. One of the biggest pieces of shits I've ever fucking met in my life.
Well, when did you start thinking that there was something not right with him?
I mean, I always knew he was off, but I didn't know he was that off. Uh, you know, yeah, I really didn't realize, like, I didn't think of him really the way I do now until after I got out of jail and started watching his fucking videos and, you know, listening to his bullshit fucking non making sense stories.
Okay, what time do you remember being on Arizona and 8th Street when you were putting power steering fluid? And I'm not a mechanic, as you know. We talked today about my truck.
Mhm. Um, I would say probably early 6 o'clock hour. Early 6 o'clock hour, like between 6 and 6:15, easy.
Okay, we have a question, and it's your opinion only, or whatever you want to tell us. Do you think Brandon and Sarah, well, this person said, did it?
I have no response to give. Again, I will not answer a question I do not know the truth to. I'm a very upfront and honest person. I will tell people what I do know. I will answer questions that I can to my best of my abilities, but I'm not going to answer that because I don't. I'm not the person that's gonna answer invalid information and then have it be wrong.
So you're saying like around 6 o'clock, you were putting the power steering fluid in there. Now you're talking about Victor from Portland. Do you happen to know his last name or what he looks like?
Cardatini. He's Hispanic. I know what he looks like. I mean, I even have his phone number. You know, I talked to him. I have it on Messenger. His full name is Hector Luis Cardatini. he's on Messenger. Anybody can find him. Who's calling me from California? Jesus. I don't got time for that. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean, with your taxi service or, however you travel, because I'm not from that area, did
Mhm.
you go to Portland a lot?
No. No. Sarah had family that lived in Portland, but friends that lived in Portland. That's where she grew up. So we took a Portland trip every now and then, but it was not frequent by any means.
Well, I mean, explain frequent. Because what I call
Um,
frequent could be like once a month, and some people could call frequent once a day. I don't know.
oh no, like I mean frequent, like maybe once every 4 or 5 months. Like there was not. Whenever we could afford it and plan it is when we did it, and that was not very often. Like we probably took a trip to Portland maybe once in a blue moon.
So explain Victor again, and we have his last name. I don't want to give out, he's probably, like you said, he's in some homeless camp or something. So obviously we're not going to, dox him and give out an address. So how, with Sarah's infrequent trips, did she feel so comfortable with Victor that she would give him your dog?
Yeah, Victor was a good dude. I would have been okay with that too.
Mm.
Knowing the circumstances, Oakley needed consistency. I trained and raised Oakley. I mean, she was not brand new to us. She was not a pup when we got her. She was like a year and a half old, but I trained that dog everything. Um, her just her energy level was, that dog was in love with me. I hate to say it, but I love that dog more than I love Sarah.
I saw the pictures. You loved that dog.
That dog was my life. I would die for Oakley. I would die for her. I would literally, if somebody were to shoot her, I would jump in front of that bullet.
Yeah. There's your puppy dog.
Hmm. I mean, look how happy she is. You can see she's even smiling. Look at that. Like,
Yeah, she's
how do you
smiling.
find that in a dog?
Yeah, she's smiling. Now, did Adrian ever go to Portland with you?
No, nope, never.
Okay.
I miss that dog so much.
That girl said if he wants to, he can explain his childhood in group home.
So, my childhood was relatively rough. I was born with fetal alcohol syndrome, um, which is, I don't know if any of y'all know, but fetal alcohol syndrome is just it affects your frontal lobe of your brain, specifically on the right side. Frontal fetal alcohol syndrome affects your cognitivity. The way your impulse control, your impulse decisions. I was angry as I didn't start going to group homes until I was 11. Um, I started developing symptoms when I was like 9 or 10, but we couldn't figure it out until after we had me tested by a neuropsychological doctor. Um, I um, grew up in Montana, just so you guys all know. I'm sure you guys probably know that. But for
Is
those of you who don't know,
there a lot of snow there and
oh my
elevation?
god, oh
Is
my
there a
god,
lot of big
yeah,
mountains?
yeah, they just got dumped on with snow. I guess what my buddy said. Like he just said they got hammered with snow. Just yesterday and the day before. So yeah, and it gets cold. It gets like -29 or -35 degrees. It's cold, cold,
Now,
cold.
what is the elevation like? Because I mean, I don't know about the mountain range it goes through
I
there.
mean, there's I don't know about the elevation, but exactly. I know they're connected. Montana, both the area I lived in was we were connected to the mountains pretty much. We lived like you could drive 30 minutes and hit the mountains.
Now, how
So
were Adrian and Brandon paying for their rooms? And who did they pay?
what do you mean?
I mean, did they pay not Stacy, Sarah's parents? Did they pay
Oh
Sarah?
no, so, no. So Brandon told us he was going to pay us, but he never did. We ended up forking out more money for him than he forked out for us. Any money that Brandon would get, he would go blow it on weed or alcohol. Holy fuck. Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Sorry. No, my phone's blowing up. Girlfriend keeps calling 100 times.
Well, good for you, hot stuff.
Do what I can. No. But
DC Times said he looks so healthy, not so unhappy anymore.
thank you, DC. Appreciate you. I'm trying. So yeah, I don't. Brandon would blow any money that I got on literally weed or alcohol. He always came to us asking for money for for gas in his car, or wanted money for to want us to pay for his phone bill or his court fines. But he never paid for his stuff. I mean, he was reliant on us, very much so.
Okay, this is going to be a tough question, and you don't have to answer it. How you said that it was going to be a couple of days with Brandon and Sarah sleeping together to get her pregnant, which would be like an ovulation cycle, but you said it went on for like a week. I mean, how did you break it up? How did you tell them, to quit being with each other?
I just told Sarah that she needed to stop or I was going to leave. So she stopped, but I guess did it behind my back when I wasn't aware of it. So
And how did you meet Adrian?
I already went over this. I told you guys I met him from Sarah bringing him home from the taxi ride.
Oh, sorry. I was just reading something from the chat.
No, it's okay.
I apologize. The chat's moving fast.
Oh, it's okay. I wish I could see the chat too. Like I want to see what people are, I want to answer them as they come,
Okay.
I don't know if there's probably no.
Russell says, Brooks, you're doing great with this interview. I'm a nervous wreck and I'm just a chatter. ICU said, so Brandon was there to get Sarah pregnant and Stacey okayed it. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying earlier, it was literally I okayed it for a short time because I was infertile. Sarah wanted a kid. I suggested and advised Sarah that we shouldn't be trying to have a kid because of our financial situation. So in short, I okayed it because I wanted her to be happy.
Okay, I'm waiting for the next question. Does Sarah know you have a new girlfriend?
No. Is that the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Nope. And I really don't care to tell her. I mean, it's whatever. Like, if she wants to be a hoe, then I'm gonna let her be a hoe and I'm gonna do my thing. Like, I'm gonna fucking take care of myself. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna make myself be happy. There's no reason I should have to deal with being unhappy. And I'm very unhappy with our marriage.
Well, when did you realize that you were infertile? Did you get tested?
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys stop trying to have a baby?
I mean, we never stopped trying to we stopped really having sex after I found out that she got herpes. So,
is that what's between your fingers?
Her fingers? No. So Sarah, she does have a big case of nervousness. So she would take a pen and she would dig at her. She would dig with a pen between her fingers.
When did that start?
Years ago. She's been doing it, I mean, since I've been married to her.
Because it looks very sore. How did she get herpes? What did she take for it? Do you know?
She hasn't gotten cured for it. That's why her and I haven't had intimacy since she got diagnosed with it. I told her I wasn't doing that.
Oh.
Uh, you know, as far as her knuckles and shit go, like she's been doing that for years.
So an ink pen she would dig between her knuckles?
Correct. That's
Oh
what that.
man. Okay. Because I was wondering about that because there's other ones where she just has the same ring and it's just between the ring finger and the middle finger.
Mm-hmm. No,
Now, who stayed at your house after you and Sarah were arrested?
Randy Strickland was there. He was the guy, another taxi customer.
Randy Strickland? Okay. I've heard his name quite a few times.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, do you know why Sarah?
Do I know?
Oh, can you hear me? Do we have a bad connection?
No, I know. I got you. I was just trying to process what you were saying.
Well, I've
Do I
heard
know?
Randy Strickland's name several times, and I wasn't quite sure how he fit in. But I mean, again, you've been telling the truth, and you're very forthcoming.
Yep. Randy was just another taxi customer. He called us because he got in a car accident and rolled his truck with. He used to haul RVs and or campers from like Gresham, uh, Indiana or whatever. I don't remember where it was, but where the major synergy place is. The RV capital of the world. Um, he would haul trailers for them. And he ended up consuming alcohol or having a couple beers and then got in a car accident. And rolled his truck and rolled the customer's camper. So he called us for a ride, and we went and picked him up in Vale, I believe it was Vale, Oregon, and brought him back. And he stayed a couple nights at our house. And then a couple days later, we rented a little U-Haul trailer because that's when we had the Escalade, the white Escalade that you guys see pictures of. And we rented a U-Haul little utility trailer and had to go pick up some of his stuff out of his truck, like his toolbox and his belongings, from the impound lot where the truck went, the wrecking yard.
Where was that at?
In Burns, Oregon.
In Burns, Oregon? Oh, okay.
Burns, Oregon, yeah.
I just appreciate you being so honest.
Not a problem.
Pat K has a question. She wants to know if you're cooperating with law enforcement.
I've cooperated him in every which way that I could. I've told him everything that I'm telling you guys. So yes.
Well, I know today you said they really won't talk to you anymore. Maybe it's because they're done with you.
I guess I don't know. They haven't approached me or tried to ask me questions since my interviews with them. So I don't really have anything else to offer them. I don't know anything other than what I've told them and told you guys. So.
When Brandon said that they had to go get some milk at the convenience store, did you see anybody coming back with milk?
No. No.
JLR said, I think Stacey is telling the truth. JLR, do you want to come up? And yes, he'll be very nice and very,
No, I
very fair.
know. I know. I watched some of his videos. I like him.
All right, so you're cooperating with law enforcement.
hmm
Stormy said, Brandon and Sarah failed the polygraphs. Can Stacey think of anywhere they could have put Monkey that law enforcement hasn't looked?
Not at all. I know absolutely nothing regarding Michael Vaughn. If, like I was telling Brooks this morning, if I knew anything about the disappearance, I had any suspicion about it, I had any relative knowledge, I would have been the first person to go say something to law enforcement. I wouldn't have held back. I'm not okay with him disappearing at all.
Well, and stupid question, why didn't you and Sarah just adopt a child?
We can't. You can't adopt a child if you're a felon.
Oh, okay. Now, are you aware that Sarah had Michael's poster on your refrigerator?
Yeah. Yeah, we posted that there together. That was specifically because to show support. Just like I told you, posting the his profile picture on my Facebook. That was literally to show support, just like people were doing the blue lights. That was all to show support. It was just in support in favor of Michael.
Well, is there anything that you've told the police that isn't quite true?
Not at all.
You haven't lied to the police at all just
No,
because you were nervous or
not
scared?
not one bit. I gave the police and the detectives everything that I could. What I'm telling you guys is what I told the detectives.
Have they made you give any kind of, statement or confession
No.
or tried to?
Yeah. But I don't know anything. I given them everything that I could. And I think they see that now, which is why they're not questioning me.
Did they interrogate you? I
Oh
know you
yeah.
said you
Oh
passed the
yeah.
polygraph and they told you that Sarah and Brandon failed
Mhm.
theirs. When did they
Mhm.
tell you that?
I found out the same day because they tried calling my mom and asking her if she thought I would have anything to do with it. She was like, absolutely not. Um, and they told my mom that, Stacy took a polygraph test and he passed, and Sarah and Brandon failed theirs. So that was um that was relayed by the detective to my mom. My mom told me.
Oh, wow. She must be.
She's hurt. She's devastated that I'm even having to go through all this. But I
Have you
will. I
ever
will.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go
No,
ahead.
you go. No, you're the guest.
I will tell people this though, that should they ever attempt to charge me for this, they're in over their heads, and they're looking at a very, very, very hefty lawsuit. I just want to let people know that.
Who's in for a lawsuit?
Everybody, all the people that are the law enforcement agencies, the FBI, they're all in over their heads right now, especially over something thinking that all. And I can tell you that the only shit that they have right now is hearsay. It's he said this, she said that. Um, the detectives played me a couple of video clips when they interviewed me of with like Sarah's stepmom or Sarah's foster mom. How Sarah's foster mom was like, "Oh, Sarah told me that Stacy may have had something to do with the kidnapping and the disappearance and the burying of the body." Um, so it's all literally hearsay. There's nothing. There's no all the video clips that they played. Even my lawyer was like, "This is pathetic." Uh, he goes, "They literally have nothing on you, and they're not gonna have anything on me. I was not part of this at all. There was no part of me that was part of that, and I would never be a part of that. I would never associate with that. I would have literally probably if I would have known that somebody had done that and I had known that person, I would have killed them."
Well, I can imagine. I can imagine. What do you think should happen to the person that abducted Michael?
I think they should be punished for the rest of their life. I think they should rot in prison. I think they should suffer and reap what they did. Absolutely.
Now, did you talk to any inmates when you were in jail about the abduction of Michael Vaughn?
It was self-explanatory. I was all over the news. I just told people that I wasn't going to talk about it because anybody could turn a story around or twist it, you know. There's just there yeah, I was questioned about it numerous times, but I wouldn't answer questions. Not to anybody like that. That's not their fucking business.
The people in jail.
Correct.
Well, did Brandon try to get an alibi after the interviews?
I have no idea. I don't have an answer to that. I don't know. Um, I wasn't part of him being interviewed, so I don't know. Again, I will not answer questions, and I can honestly tell the truth too.
If there's anything you could say to the family of Michael Vaughn, what would you say?
I would say that I'm extremely sorry that your little boy was abducted, and I would want them to know that my heart is 100% with them. I also want them to know that if I ever were to come in contact with a person, if this person was found that did this, um, they would be in a very, very, very huge world of hurt. And that comes from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry, Brandy, and I'm sorry, Tyler, for everything that you're going through. And I wish and I pray every day and I cry nightly that this little boy comes home.
Are you upset that they put your picture up as a suspect?
I'm very upset because I didn't have anything to do with it. They they have literally gotten backwards with things. I know for a fact I would never do something like this ever.
So why is Brandon so focused on the crawl space in your master bedroom?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know that the crawl space literally consisted of an empty firearm box.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Brendan, or sorry, I don't know why he's blank or he's fixed on the crawl space, but I can tell you that there was nothing in that crawl space beside a empty firearm box. And to answer your question, Vet Girl, I have no idea why Brandon blames me for everything. It's pathetic. You know, they always say the first person to blame somebody is usually the first person that did it. So maybe, I don't know. I won't speak out of context because it's not my place to speak. I will only speak the truth and what I know. But it is bullshit that he blames me for this.
Well, did Brandon never call you? And because I mean, he does speak around the internet. Did he
Oh, all
ever
the time.
call you and want you to meet him for an alibi?
No, never. Not once.
Now, let's talk about Sarah's behavior and Brandon's and Adrian's after July 27th.
Okay. What do you want to know?
How did it change?
Sarah, I only noticed Sarah's demeanor changing after this all went down, and I noticed, like I was telling you this morning, I noticed that she um, was posting a lot of God videos. Um, she was everything that she was. Um, I don't know. I don't. She was just her whole demeanor changed. Everything was off about her after this, and I didn't really thinking about it. Like I thought she was just, this is something a new phase or something. Like, um, but I don't know. I didn't realize what she was doing until after I got arrested. That she was she became dramatic. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you're okay. Just take your time.
Sorry. And I work at, oh my gosh, work. Can you guys still see me? At
Yeah, I can see.
oh, okay. 45. Okay.
Dakota wants to know why Sarah was so dramatic over getting stuck in the mud, like it was a huge deal.
I have no idea. She didn't seem dramatic to me, but again, maybe it's just because I'm so used to her, or was so used to her. There was nothing dramatic about it.
Who all
Um,
stayed at the house the night that Michael went missing?
Sarah and Brandon.
Where was Adrian?
He was out doing his thing with his girlfriend or girly girl or whoever this chick he was banging was. I don't know. I know he wasn't home that night. He
Did,
wasn't even home that day.
did he ever have guests at the house?
Yeah, he tried bringing chicks home a couple times, and we got mad at him for it. So that's why he was out and about with this girl because we told him it wasn't allowed to bring other females. Oh, look, Sarah's calling. Go figure.
I'll put her on.
No, it's a three-way call. I can't do that in a jail phone call
I don't see why not.
because third-party calls are not allowed.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. But yeah, I don't
yeah,
want you to get in trouble.
yeah, no, it's not me that gets in trouble. It's her. She wanted to be able to call her mom. They'll suspend her phone account.
Well, you can just answer it and talk to her.
No, it's okay. I've already hung up.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk to her anyways, to be honest.
But I mean, was she that way before
What do you
Michael
mean?
went missing? Before Michael was abducted?
No, no. Her demeanor changed completely. Um, but I don't know. Um, uh, um,
And I don't
I,
mean to get into your business, but I mean, with fetal alcohol syndrome, can that cause someone to act without thinking of the consequences? Is that part of the diagnosis?
mm, like impulse control sometimes, but I've been in group homes almost. I was in for group homes from 11 to 23, and I took and exercised every amount of counseling and therapy that I could to be who I am today. So I know I would not make a decision like that. No, even impulsively. I mean, no matter how bad of a position I was in or how bad Sarah wanted a kid, you've you got me fucked up if you think that I'm going to go through and try to do something like that.
Was it a huge argument with you guys? Um, her wanting a child?
Mm,
I don't mean to say
no,
huge
I
argument.
just no. I mean, it wasn't really an argument. It was just me like me telling her that I don't think it's a good idea.
Did Brandon ever bring guests over to your
No,
house?
no. Brandon didn't have a whole lot of friends, so I mean, he had friends, but nobody that had access to a vehicle.
So did they just come over?
What do you mean? No, he never had guests over.
Okay. Why was he the only person, according to him, that was allowed to have, excuse me, I'm getting choked. I'm getting dry mouth too. Let me get some water. Um, why was he the only person that was allowed to drink alcohol in the house?
He wasn't. He's stupid. I drank alcohol. Sarah consumed alcohol. Brandon consumed alcohol. We all drank, but I just drank. Sarah and I drank at a whole nother level than Brandon. Like Brandon would get plastered drunk. I would drink 1 or 2 beers and be good.
Did law enforcement ever talk to you before November of 2022?
They came and did interviews with us. Yeah, they interviewed us at the house, asking if we seen anything, asking if we know anything. We're like, no, we don't. I don't even know this person.
So, this is a weird question, and you don't have to answer it. Again, if you're not comfortable, don't do it.
Okay.
If Sarah had had a child or was pregnant, would she stop having sex with Adrian or Brandon?
I don't think so. I think Sarah was just that type of girl, that woman who demanded, who required sexual attention, and I wasn't going to give it to her. So I don't know. You know, she apparently wanted to find it elsewhere. So I mean, it's a shitty feeling. It sucks, but she was going to do what she was going to do, regardless of my opinion. So, what are my feelings?
All right. Well, Arizona and 8th Street
Hmm.
is only a few hundred feet from the area where Michael was last seen.
No, it's probably like I don't know, like a tenth of a mile. But even still, I don't know how or why he would even be seen in our neighborhood when he lives completely on the other side of the subdivision. So I don't, or the other side of it in a different neighborhood. He doesn't even live in a subdivision, from what I understand. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you told me where the Vaughn family lives.
Yeah.
Let's look at 8th in Arizona.
Yep. Eighth and
Southwest
Arizona. Eighth. So you see where the Vaughn family picture. This says Vaughn's family home, right?
Mhm.
So all the housing that's below that, you see before the patch of the gray pasture right there. So all the housing that's before that, in between the gray pasture and the Vaughn family home. So that's 8th Street right there. That little road that goes, you see, there's one road going straight down that connects all the way to the green pasture at the end on the left. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, so you literally, so Arizona is that road that is right after all those houses on the left.
Well, where were you coming from that you had to put in power steering fluid?
Outside of the subdivision. So we drove, exited our subdivision and pulled off. And you see that entrance on the right? So right across from the green pasture, right? On the big piece of green pasture on the left side of um I don't know if you see it the same way I do, but the only big green, dark green pasture that's right there on the left. Okay, that road right there that divides the housing on where it says searching and the road, and then there's that green pasture. So that little road right there, you pull out of the subdivision. We literally pulled off to the side of the road, right there at the corner. There's like a stop sign at that road, and we pulled off before the stop sign.
Now, what were Sarah and Brandon doing when you were working on the truck?
Sitting in the truck.
They didn't get out?
No, they didn't need to get out. It was a quick fix. We just had to put power steering fluid in.
Okay. Cat Toe said, "Is that the same truck you took to deliver the puppy?"
Correct. Yep. The puppy to Grants Pass, yes. But we took her car to Texas. But I think she's referring to Grants Pass.
Okay. Now, did you see Sarah and Brandon, or just Brandon, search the field near the river?
Did I see him what?
Search the field near the river.
No, I didn't see him at all. I wasn't with them when they went searching, remember? I was trying to get the truck and the car detached.
Well, I'm just answering questions as they come in. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm answering as they come in. Like, I don't, yeah, no, I wasn't even with them that night. When I got back, they went to go look for Michael, and I was trying to get the car separated, detached from the truck.
Well, now, what time did you put the fluid in the truck?
Between 6 and 6:15.
Okay, I got you. Did Sarah or Brandon ever mention the Vaughn family before he disappeared?
No, Never.
I just wonder how Carson knew exactly where they lived and where Brandy Neal works.
I have no idea. I didn't even know Carson knew that, to be honest with you. That's news to me.
Yeah, Brandon said they were driving and getting milk.
No, they were on foot. They couldn't even exit the parking the driveway. There was no car. I mean, they couldn't get the car out. And they never brought home milk that night, Christina.
Well, how many times before had you towed a car?
Quite a bit.
No, okay, because I wouldn't know how to do it.
No, yeah, no. I used to haul big trailers. Like I mean, I've got not semi trucks, but you know what I mean. Like I can drive big rig. Like I don't know how to do it all.
Now, what about the mall and Applebee's?
I don't know anything about it. I know that Sarah took or Adrian and Brandon. They all took a trip early that morning to go take Adrian to go see his kid in Boise. But I'm not exactly sure what day that was. Um, but ouch. um, Brent or Adrian wanted to go see his kid in Boise. His ex girlfriend was going to bring the kid to him. Um, but Adrian or Brandon and Sarah were the only people that went.
Now, what about the water at your house? Because Brandon said he had to get his own water from his mother's house.
He's so stupid. He drank so much water at our house. He's lying to you guys.
Okay. Well, he put this on another interview.
He's stupid. He's lying, guys. Like, do not believe him at all. He is no.
All right. So that day you did a taxi run from Ontario to Boise.
Correct.
Now, what time did you get home? Roughly.
So like I'd say I was gone at least from uh like I think I left the house at like 1 and I didn't get back to like 3:30 or 4.
3:30 or 4.
Correct.
Where did you guys go after 4 o'clock? Because you said around 6:15 at Southwest and 8th is when you put the power steering fluid in.
For Arizona and 8th, yes.
No, I'm
So
sorry.
we were at home. Brandon, Sarah, and I were at home.
Oh, so you went home and left again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, correct. We had gone home because we had to go get the truck. I didn't have the truck with me. You know what I mean? Like so I had to go home. As I went home, Sarah was already there with Brandon, and oh my God, Jesus, I'm up. Um, and so we had to. Oh my God. Get we had to come home. Brandon then asked us if we would help him get his car from Cuna. At that point, we agreed, and so we hopped in the truck, and I put the tow strap and everything in the back, and we left.
Okay. All right. I apologize. Somebody was trying to deliver a package and it's not for us.
That was just funny because I was just about to guess that. I was like, I bet you she's got a mail delivery.
Yeah, it's a big old Amazon package. It's like some sound bar and something. And they were asking if it's for us. And I'm like,
Nope.
oh, no. Do you ever get that?
Well, I live at the hotel, so not lately. But yeah, so
Okay, so let's get back to questions. Why would he go to Kuna, where his mother lives, to get water if he was drinking water at your house all the time?
it was, I don't fucking know. Brandon, it wasn't, it makes no sense. There's, that night we towed the vehicle or went to go pick the vehicle up. Uh, he literally, I asked Brandon for a bottle of water because we didn't have any water with us and I was thirsty. But so Brandon got me a couple bottles of water along with him and Sarah. But Brandon always drank the water at our house. There was nothing wrong with it. It was good water. I mean, we used our refrigerator water because we have a filter on it and stuff. So there was absolutely nothing wrong with the water. I've seen Brandon drink water a million times at our house.
And I probably have already forgotten who was driving.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. I'm just confused because I have very bad night vision,
Mhm.
really bad. And so why not wait till it's daylight to tow the car? Was there something imperative that Brandon had to have his car there that
Brandon, Brandon was very impulsive when it came to his questions or his decisions. Worse than me, way worse. He'd been asking us for a couple days to help him, at least a week, and we've been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Finally, we're just like, fuck it, we'll just get it over with. I think that's why we did it that night, just because we were so done with him hounding us about it.
so you just caved. You just
Yeah,
caved.
we're just like, fuck it, just go get it and get it over with.
Who pays for the jail calls when Sarah calls you? Because she's been calling a lot.
She does. I haven't put any money on her books. Her mom puts money on her books.
Well, now, has Sarah ever towed a car before?
No,
That
she wanted to learn, and so I was like, the only way to learn is just doing. So let's do this, and I guided her. I told her what she needed to do, and she did it. So, um,
and why on earth is she calling you? You guys are in the midst of a divorce.
mhm. I don't know. I've told her, and I don't hardly answer her calls, and when I do, it's literally, uh, I just want to see how you're doing today. Okay,
But I
and
mean, you guys are in the midst of a divorce.
mhm. She calls me every day, and 90% of them are done. 98% of the time, I don't even answer. Um, and I told her that I want a divorce, so I don't know why she doesn't grasp that.
I
But
mean, between Kuna and Fruitland, did you guys stop anywhere?
mm, Sarah had to use the restroom, so we stopped. We had um, took the back road to Fruitland, the old highway from I think it's called the Black Canyon Highway, I think. Um, but we had stopped on the Eagle Road. I don't know remember what road it was exactly, but uh, we had stopped and pulled over for a second because the tow strap came undone. It snapped because Sarah jolted the truck and snapped the tow strap. So we had to pull over, and then I had to reattach or tie the toe strap back together. um, and then Sarah, I think, used the restroom uh, on the side of the road like she usually did when we had no access to a restroom. But then that was the only time we had stopped.
I mean, why didn't she use a bathroom at Brandon's mom's house?
She did.
Oh, okay.
Her bladder is ridiculous. I've never met somebody who has to pee as much as her.
Yeah, well, you haven't met me.
Maybe not.
My friend Kat, who's in here, she'll tell you I'm like a turtle. If you touch me, I've got to pee.
Gotta pee, gotta pee.
Well, I think you're doing great and you're being very transparent.
Thank you. Doing the best I can, I want people to know like I'm not this evil monster that people are making me out to be. I can't be that person. I physically do not have the capability or mentally.
So, Brandon's,
Ouch.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Brandon's, I guess, ex-employer said he's basically like a Ted Bundy. He's a psychopath.
Brandon's ex-employer said that?
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, it's news to me too. I I don't know the exact definition of a psychopath, but I know it's not good. Um, I don't know. Brandon is not mentally stable.
Well, when you were at Brandon's mom's house, you said Sarah used the bathroom. Did she walk in the front door or how did she get in?
Through the garage.
Is it like one of those garage doors that you hit the button and the garage door comes up? Or is it one of those like where you pull it up?
No, it was the garage door button.
Who had the garage door opener?
He knows the code to the little thing that's on the side of the garage that opens the garage door. The pin you put in, the code opener.
Is there any cameras on his mom's house?
Yeah, on the front, but it doesn't cover the. She went through the far side of the garage, and she only has cameras on the front of her door.
And that was the day that Michael was abducted.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Oh man.
How come Brandon wasn't living with his mom?
Brandon burned a lot of bridges with his mom. Burned a lot. He stole from her, took from her, lied to her numerous times. He just burned a lot of bridges.
Do you know if Brandon and Sarah went to any prayer vigils?
What's a prayer vigil?
When people around the community get together and
Oh, like a prayer group?
yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I know they helped search on the 28th and 29th, or that night along with when he disappeared, but I don't know about any prayer vigils, no.
Okay.
I mean, I think Sarah pretty much did her prayer vigils on her own, to be honest.
Sounds like it in the driveway. What'd you think
Oh
when
my God.
Carson called you in jail and said she's going nuts?
I mean, honestly, it was a shock to me. Like I was like, what the fuck? But she's not mentally there. I don't know. I've never seen her act that way. So
Did she ever say to you that she saw Brandy Neal crying?
no, not once.
And you know who Brandy Neal is.
His mom, yeah. I just I just did a shout out. Remember?
Yeah, I know. Just making sure. I know you're tired. You're yawning. So,
Oh man, I'm burnt. I'm tired.
do you think maybe they hid from the cameras going into the garage?
Do I
And
think it?
where were you when they were going in?
I was in the truck waiting where I normally should have been. I don't have a bladder problem like Sarah does, so um, I didn't have to use the restroom, so I just waited. But I can tell you that nothing was brought into the house, if that's what you're asking, or if that's what we were getting to.
No, I didn't ask that.
I don't know, but people would probably ask that. So just to cover that ground, no, there was nothing. There was nothing being brought in. But yeah, and I think it was to avoid the cameras. Correct.
Who do you think could have buried Michael in your backyard?
No idea. I'm not going to answer that either because I will not speak on something I do not know the truth to. I don't even want to guess. I don't want to know.
Because there's you and Sarah in the front seat.
Caesar and Brandon in the back. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is just so sad. Let's take a second and look at a video of Michael, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What is that, monkey?
Bear.
What is that?
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, Bear. Hi, baby.
All right, where'd he go? Oh, he went back the other way.
Hi, Dad.
Out of all of them, who do you think could have put him there? Just your opinion.
I don't know. I think Adrian probably would have had a very good part in it, considering he's well known for human trafficking.
I'm so sorry, Stacey. I know this is horrible.
I cry every day, just so you guys are aware. Like, this hurts me. I should never have been associated or brought into it. I should have never been married to Sarah. Um, you know, I'm hurting. It hurts me. It tears me up every day.
And Crystal, you're not blocked, honey. You're fine. You're fine. And you don't have to trust Stacey. You don't have to trust him. He's here to tell you his side of the story, and he's been very forthcoming. And like he said, it tears his heart out. Did you go out and look for Michael Vaughn yourself?
I did a couple like, drives, but it wasn't wasn't like extensive. I did go out and look, but I you know I I didn't go out at the same time Brandon and Sarah went out. No, but I did look for the boy like the next day or something like that.
Well, I mean, where were you when they were out looking for Michael?
I told you where I was. I was at home taking the detaching the car from the truck that was taking up the whole length of the driveway and then some.
Okay, I apologize. I did write that down.
It's okay.
Well, what do you think Adrian did? Because in my opinion, you've been manipulated and you're a victim as well.
I don't know. I don't. Again, that's something I don't feel comfortable talking about because I don't. It's like putting the cart before the horse. I told you I'm not going to speak on something I don't know the answer to, even if it's an opinion. Like I don't have a response for that. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about the fact that any three of those people, any four of those people, any three of the people could have something to do with it.
Well,
Makes me sick.
you say four. Who would be the fourth? Because we have
Caesar.
eight.
You brought up Caesar.
Okay.
You talked about Caesar. I don't know. I'm just saying you brought up a fourth person, so I was including the fourth person.
Oh, no, I got you. What about Victor and Alexi?
Who?
Alexi, a guy that Brandon talks about.
Alexi?
Mhm.
You mean Lexi? That was 11-year-old girl that Sarah and I were babysitting for my tattoo artist Ian, who, mind you, just did this tattoo a couple weeks ago. Like,
Oh, let me see that again. That is some cool ink, man. Are you going to get that filled in?
yeah.
Wow. What does that mean?
So the ink in the middle says angel and devil, but it's a skull with roses and a snake going down my wrist.
Did that hurt?
No. I have 16 tattoos, none of them. The only one that really hurt me was my whole chest piece.
So, what scares you the most about this whole situation? Because
The fact that this little boy hasn't come home to his family.
I think you're scared. Are these people threatening you?
I'm not scared at all. I'm scared for this little boy and his family. I have been threatened, yes. I've been
Who threatened
ridiculed.
you?
Nobody, just in the people in the public.
Well, don't worry about them. I'm talking like people that were once in your circle that turned on you.
Oh no, never been threatened by them. I don't have association with them.
Did anything on July 27th scare you?
Not at all. I was scared for that little boy when he went missing. Absolutely.
When did you find out Michael went missing? Do you even know do you know what time he went missing?
No. I just know that the neighborhood was completely dead and empty, or dead and quiet when we left, and when we came back 4 or 5 hours later, it was swarmed with people all over.
When I was talking to you this morning, and I
Mhm.
appreciate you being so nice and reaching out and saying, I just want to clear all this up. You
Mhm.
mentioned furniture, and I cut you off because I was talking about my own life because I'm really bad like that. Did you guys get new furniture?
I mentioned furniture. What are you talking about? I said I move. I used to move furniture for Labor Dave.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
No, the furniture we had was furniture that we've had for since we moved into the house in 2020.
So what did you do the day after Michael was abducted?
We just carried on and did what went about with the taxi calls. Just carried on a normal day. I know that I think I went out, told Sarah that I was going to go look for the kid, but um, we just went about our usual daily activities. Ouch.
You've been coughing a lot. Do you think maybe that with all the coughing, you have maybe done something to a rib?
It's just my lower back.
Oh,
I
okay.
I cracked my rib years ago, like through a snowboarding accident when I was in way much better health condition than I am now. But um, no, it's just my lower back. I have back problems really bad, so it just hurts to cough.
Well, we have a question from chat. Jordan Davies wants to know, do you think Sarah has got anything to do with Michael's disappearance, or do you think she's capable of doing this?
Uh, again, I only answer things that I know the answers to is best. But to give you the best answer that I can, Jordan, I don't think that she had anything to do with it. What was the second part of that question?
Oh, hang on. I got to go back up. I
Sorry.
apologize. Bear with me. Oh, hang on. Peas in a Pod said coughing can aggravate lower back issues. Do you have a chiropractor?
No, I probably should go check one out. I haven't been to a chiropractor for years. I haven't been to a chiropractor since I've been out of jail, and I was in jail for 18 months. So probably should go check one out. But I just haven't been able to get there yet.
Hold on one second. I'll find it.
I will tell you, I'm gonna have to like sum this up pretty soon because I have to go do my drug and alcohol testing. I
Oh,
got called today, so and that's at 3 p.m. Or I have to no, not at 3 p.m. I have to do it before 6, but I work at 3:45. So uh, I got to probably wrap this up with everybody, but I would like to continue it. You know,
well, do you want to come back on tomorrow?
yeah, we can do that. But can you ask Stacey? Oh, there we go. I could come back on tomorrow early morning. Like I don't know what time you get up around there, but I mean, I could do something.
Normally up at like 3 in the morning, to be quite honest. I go to bed early, I get up early. I have like a golden girl schedule, not gonna lie.
I mean, we could do something like 6 in the morning if you want.
Okay, so that's 6 o'clock your time, 7 my time.
That would be essential, yeah.
Do you think they're gonna charge you?
I don't know what to think. I hope not. I didn't do anything. They don't have evidence. Like, I don't know where they think they're going to, but like I said, I've already got my lawyer on standby who's already ready, like for if anything happens. Like like I'm prepared. Like they're in for a fight if they're gonna try to charge me. I can tell you that. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it straight to the box and they're gonna lose. I'm gonna make them look like a bunch of bitches, to be honest.
The FBI and ISP and
Oh
free.
yeah. Oh yeah. They're in for a nice little treat. They don't got shit on me. I can tell everybody that. They have nothing on me. And what little shit they think they have on me is not sufficient evidence. And even if they do, they said that they apparently have uh evidence of him being in the house. Well, I'm pretty sure that kid's never been in a house a day in his life. So I don't know where they even come up with that. But should they ever charge me, they're in for a very, 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 very angry person and a very long, huge lawsuit.
Okay. Well, now, when you say angry, I
Like
mean,
angry isn't like angry for that they're fucking charging me over something they have no reason to charge me. They have no valuable evidence. Not angry isn't like I'm gonna hurt somebody angry, just angry isn't like, it's bullshit. They're trying to fucking charge me regardless.
all right, we'll continue this tomorrow. I know you have to get to work.
Okay. But I appreciate you, Brooks. You have my number.
Yep.
If you want to give JLR Investigates my number too, if he wants to talk, I'm trying to cover my bases to let everybody know, like, this is not who people are making me out to be.
Well,
This is
and
not-
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, not one bit. So I just want everybody to know on here, like, thank you for, listening. Thank you for asking the questions. We'll continue this tomorrow. Hopefully y'all can join it, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock Mountain Time. It'd be 7 Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe. So hopefully we all can get back on there and I can answer the questions you guys have.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put your picture on the thumbnail.
Okay.
And so text me your favorite picture
Okay.
and I'll put it up. And so, people have, until tomorrow to figure out their questions.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, don't work too hard, my friend.
Definitely not looking forward to it, but I won't.
Well, I just think did you have a good time today?
Yes, absolutely. I was happy to be on here and, verse my side of the story, like it's a bunch of bullshit, but I think I've answered a lot of the people's questions and, probably relieved some, you're welcome, Court. Relieved, a lot of the, it's okay. I forgive you guys. I just want people to know, like, I'm an honest person, I'm an open book. I don't have a reason to sit there and feed people a line of bullshit. As you guys know, I've been very consistent with, information that I have for you guys. So just please feel free to ask any questions. I hope I've been able to ease up your guys' hearts a little bit. And I look forward to speaking with you all tomorrow.
Okay. We will see you on the show tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Brooks. Have a great night. Hey, guys, take care.
All right. Let's have a big round of applause for Stacey for coming up.
Thank y'all.
And then tomorrow morning, we will finish the rest.
Okay, sounds good, Brooks. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you for being here and being here for Michael Vaughn.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye.